Hey y'all, my name is Holly and welcome to my channel, Holly Go Read. Today we're going to be talking about my Smutathon Wrap Up. Yeah, I'm really weird and let's do this. Okay, so for our first trope, we had enemies to lovers. For that I read I Bet You by Elsa Madden Mills. Probably give that about 4 stars. So I Bet You was about Penelope, who is sort of a twihard, but like a really bad one because she calls Forks Washington Forks Seattle. I don't know, it was bizarre. But she like references Edward's face being on her pillow, and you know her parrot's name is Vampire Bill, so she's like a vampire chick. Okay. So she wrote for the school paper about this guy named Riker, who I think is a quarterback. He's a football star. I think he's the quarterback though. And basically loses him his shot at the Heisman. And so it's kind of like that enemies to lovers. Like she thinks he hates her. And he was actually kind of meh about it. But then him and his dumb jock buddies have like these series of bets going on, and he really embarrasses her by trying to get a date with her, and then like her figuring out that, oh, this is a bet, you don't actually like me. And then shenanigans ensue, and there's more bets and more secrets, and it's another one of those lovely tales where if open communication were a thing, there never would have been problems. Also, a heavy dose of daddy issues on Penelope's end. But all in all, you know, it was sweet. It had a satisfying ending. No majorly problematic things, and the sexy scenes were good. And that's what we're here for, right? Because I mean, come on, it's Smutathon. Like, we were in it for the sexy scenes. Let's be real. So those were good, and yeah, like I said, nothing too terribly problematic, so 4 stars. And next up on our list was Friends with Benefits. For that I read Hooking Up by Crystal Caswell, which features Iris and, let's say, Warren or Williams or something like that. Walker. Iris and Walker. So this one, I would say probably should have a trigger warning for like substance abuse. So if that's not okay with you, go ahead and skip this one. Also, if you don't want to hear me talk about it, go ahead and skip till the cover art goes by. So in this one, Iris is a recovering heroin addict. She's only been clean for a few months when she takes Walker home, and this is a friends with benefits trope, so originally they're just kind of like, hey, let's keep things cash. It's a romance novel, things never stay cash, they start falling in love, but his big thing is the past is the past. I don't care about your past, you don't have to tell me. Like, he knows she's holding something in and keeps telling her, you don't have to tell me. But flip side, Walker has an addict sister who he is very distressed about and expresses to Iris that he could never be with an addict. So there's a lot of addiction themes going on there. What little I do know, addicts typically aren't supposed to enter into romantic relationships that soon after getting clean. So that might be problematic for some people. The sexy scenes were like A+. So if I could go a few different ways on that, but I will go ahead and just make that blanket warning there. Hello, hair. But yeah, so that one I could kind of go either way on. I'd probably give it like a 3.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 3.5 because it didn't piss me off, because that's not one of my triggers, but I could see where that could be problematic for somebody else. And next up we had the fake relationships trope. for that one, I actually ended up deviating from my TBR because your girl picked all novels and was reading at novella speed. So I had to go and change a bunch of the books that I was reading. So this is not the one that I said I was going to be reading in my TBR. And this is The Wife Arrangement by Penny Wild. It could be Wildy. I had a teacher whose last name was Wildy. It was spelled this way. But I'm going to bet she wants it pronounced Wild. So we have Dee and Jasper. Jasper's like this big like car company mogul, and like his dad gets this insane idea that, oh, you can't inherit the company unless you're married, so you have a month to get married, or I'm giving the company to one of your cousins, which is bizarre, but okay, sure, Dad. He's a big family guy. He wants grandparents, and this is his big like, you must get married shove. So Jasper and his assistant come up with this stupid idea to hire an intern to pretend to be his wife, and they're gonna pick the trashiest, like gold diggingest looking girl with like the bad backstory to like make his dad regret forcing him to get married. Enter Dee, who's, you know, this hardworking, lovely individual who loves this company and loves these cars, and, you know, they're faking being engaged, and then they start, you know, boinking each other's brains out while faking to be engaged. That could only end well. This, you know, the sexy scenes were, it was a novella, so it was a lot more rushed, but I did that to myself. They were good, they weren't problematic, there was no big issues there. This was a lot more frothy, I guess. You know, they end up going to Greece for his family reunion to prove that he's married. And they had a fake elopement. They didn't actually get married. Again, another one of those that easily could have been solved by open communication. I'd probably give this one a 3. I don't think it was like super memorable as far as like romances go. I've been struggling to like remember what they talked about. They really didn't talk about a lot, they just screwed a lot. They talked about cars, and they screwed a lot. That was like their relationship. And then they're like, we're in love. You know, it's a novella, so. But yeah, if you're looking for mainly sexy times, minimal plot, highly recommend. 3 stars though. Boop. On to the next one. Okay, so for Slow Burn, I was supposed to read The Opposite of You by Rachel Higginson. Did not get to it. Smutathon and Yule Witchathon overlapped, and I decided that I wanted to move on from this muddy content. So, and slow burns just really aren't my thing. If I'm reading a romance, I kind of want you to get to the point. So I really wasn't gonna like that one anyway. I may loop back to it because I mean it's on my Kindle Unlimited, so I can read it whenever. But yeah, I didn't get to that one. So technically I didn't finish, but you know, sorry. Next up, we have, oh, okay, so for the forbidden, for the forbidden trope, I read Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. Several people were telling me that this was going to be good, and they weren't wrong. It was good. Technically, I would say you could qualify this as a slow burn because it was like the very back half of the book that they start interacting with each other, not in their heads. So this one follows Pike and Jordan. Jordan being Pike's son's girlfriend. They end up having to move in with him, and he's this like burly, beefy construction crew kind of guy, and just like drool. Yeah. And Jordan, you know, is pretty much described as most men like a wet dream, you know, blonde, tiny, petite, yeah, all that stuff. And basically, like, her boyfriend just really just does not appreciate her. Crap, someone might be at the door. Un momento. Okay, like I was saying, So Jordan's living in Pike's house, and she's kind of your domestic dream, if that's your thing, guys. She cooks, she cleans. She's basically Holly housewife. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I had to go down 3 flights of stairs and come back up because somebody was at my door. I'm out of shape. But the chemistry was like really good there, and you could just tell that those two belonged together, and that the son was kind of a jerk, and I don't like how indecisive Pike was there towards the end, but like I could see why. Anywho, I'd probably give it 4 stars. It was good. It was good sexy times. It was a good plot line. And I like the little sprinkle of taboo that's not like super gross. Next up was Different Worlds. For that one, I read The Midwinter Mail Order Bride by Katie Wilde. Again, another Wilde with an E. Again, I'm gonna bet she doesn't pronounce it Wildy. I bet it's Wild, and I doubt they're related. I'm gonna bet that's a pen name. This one was probably my least favorite. Honestly, it was a novella, and it dragged. It just went on and on and on. It was Kale and Anja. Kale was this butcherer. Honey, leave off the extra ER. Kale the butcher sounds so much better than the butcherer. Nobody says butcherer. It's annoying, and reading it just hurt my eyes. Ugh. This was definitely a 2-star for me. Again, it was just boring. It dragged. They bone like once. I mean, that's not what you go into a smutty novella for. And it was like, so he was this like conqueror, and she was like this bride that was sent because she doesn't have any magic, and he's like, magic is kindness and love, and it just came off really preachy, and that's just not what I was there for. I didn't think they really had any chemistry. He went from, oh hey, it's kind of cool that my minister sent me off for a bride, to I must have her. And then I will not have her because she's too good for me and I suck. You know, I just, blech. And the whole, the spider thing, and it was cliche and contrived, and I was bored the whole time. And normally I like the He-Man warrior crap. I've got a stack of Johanna Lindsay's to prove it, but it wasn't my fave. It was novella length, and I was bored to tears. It was just, come on, why isn't this done yet? And if you're reading a novella, it shouldn't feel that way. It should feel incredibly fast-paced, in my opinion, if it's good. So, not my fave. 2 stars. And the last one was One Night Stand by A.L. Jackson and Rebecca Shea. So this one was Paxton and Kaylee. Paxton is like this big movie star. I'm guessing he's supposed to be like Ryan Gosling, you know, kind of fantasy. And she's a kindergarten teacher, she's a kindergarten teacher. But she went to school with some director's daughter, and she gets to go to like this big movie premiere, and she meets Paxton, like falls into him and all this shenanigans. It's supposed to be a one-night stand, so that's to satisfy the one-night stand trope. But she gets caught like by the paparazzi. They take pictures of her leaving his house, like climbing over his gate. And he feels real bad that her life's been like taken over by the paparazzi, and he's like, come with me to London and let's just like hang out and screw, and I think you're different. And I mean, it was novella length, so they don't have a lot of time for like really great plots or really great chemistry. To me, it just kind of felt like a movie star fantasy fanfic. It didn't feel overly sophisticated, but it also wasn't problematic, other than the fact that she lost her job because she had a one-night stand. Granted, this is LA, and it was a private school, and she was a kindergarten teacher who got caught having a one-night stand. Like, I'm trying to think back to the reaction my mother would have had if my kindergarten teacher had a one-night stand and it got in the papers. Society is what it is. It sucks that, you know, women are punished for their sexual agency, but that's the world we live in. It sucks, but that's reality. Yeah, it was just kind of, it was there. It's not memorable. It's not one of those that I'm gonna go back and be like, that was so hot, I have to read it again. No, it was just kind of there. Yeah. Okay, so that is all the books that I read for Smutathon and what I thought of them. Honestly, my favorite was Birthday Girl, which I'm not surprised. I heard a lot of people hype that book, and it met with the hype. So, yay. I'm actually gonna have to take a break from all this smuttiness because my brain was on like smut overload. Just like, but now I have Witchathon to cleanse that out a bit. Got a lot of views from my Smutathon TBR, so I'm thinking of making my smutty reads a regular part of my channel. If you are about the smutty content, want to hear more about smutty content, let me know down in the comments and I will keep talking about it. Sorry I'm kind of low-key today, but that's the way I'm rolling. So that is it. That is all I have for you today. Thank y'all so much for sticking in with me and hearing about all of the wonderfully trashy, smutty wonderfulness that I read. I'm looking forward to doing this again the next time this comes around. Again, thank you to Riley and Lainey. I'll link both of their channels down in the description for creating this readathon. Bless y'all. So, have fun, and I'm Holly, and go read.